Welcome back to The Talk. We are in a very somber mood right now because the verdict in the Casey Anthony.
You okay?
Help me out here.
Okay.
Okay, so the verdict has come down in the Casey Anthony trial. Well, we don't have it on AP yet, but let me just bring everyone up to speed. Okay.
Did say not guilty of first-degree murder, not guilty of aggravated
child abuse. Guilty of providing false information. And but we do want to point out we're still waiting for some of the other verdicts to come down on some of the other counts. For example,
Julie, I'm just shocked.
Can I just?
Yeah, go ahead.
She could be acquitted or convicted of second-degree murder or manslaughter. We're still waiting for that count to come down.
Yeah, but if you're not guilty of aggravated assault on a child, how are you going to be guilty of any other? I mean, that is, at the very least, I thought that would be the case. Look, our justice system works for a reason, and as upset as I am right now, you just got to say to these jurors, they had a job to do. They sat down, they listened to tons and tons of droning testimony, and they weighed the scales and to come up the way from sitting out here, I thought, but we have to remember they're sitting sequestered for over a month without seeing their families, without watching the news, without being online. So they have a different perspective. All they see is what they're presented.
You had to guess what the little angle of doubt would be for them. Could you even imagine what they might have gotten hung up on?
Well, I do think, as much as I wasn't a huge fan of Jose Baez, I do think he did a very deft job. We talked about the kitchen sink defense, throwing up all these smoke screens. Jose Baez is the defense attorney for Casey Anthony, and I do think that he did a good job in distraction, and maybe put that little bit of doubt, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, and so far, as we're continuing to wait for the other verdicts to come down on the other counts, Associated Press is reporting that Casey showed no emotion as the verdicts were coming.
Except for smiling, holding her lawyer's hands. Somebody told us at the break, but it's. I think what everybody's affected by, what I'm affected by, is the pictures of little Kaylee. You imagine what that little girl went through, and I think that's where all this emotion comes from. I think that's why the country is so behind this case, is because of the victim in this case. And you see that little angel face, and you just wanted justice.
I can't imagine she could die that
Anyone
way.
who's a parent and not a parent.
Yeah, if you're not a parent, you can still connect. But if you're a parent, there's a.
Yeah.
I have this question. If you are that little girl's grandparents, George and Cindy, on one hand, their daughter so far has been found not guilty of first-degree murder. They still have a granddaughter who is not with us in this world. How do they feel right now? What do they want?
I bet they feel numb.
I wouldn't even know how to begin how to feel if I were in their shoes. Would anyone here?
No, I think we've talked about this, about raising a child that maybe could do something like this. Would we stand by their side? And I said no, and I stand by that. I couldn't stand by knowing that you were directly or indirectly involved with the death of my grandchild.
I just also hope, though, if she's released from jail, that there isn't any act of violence against her. Because I don't think that we should respond against violence with violence.
Correct. I just wanted, before we go to break, I just want to send out one reminder that she has been found not guilty of first-degree murder. We'll be right back.